And then, fudge up the intro like at least once or twice.
Not this time, buddy. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Side Splitters. My name is Lyle.
And I'm Andy.
And our goal this... Damn it!
Yes!
I'm sitting there and I'm like, and I did mess up the intro. Wait, I'm not done yet. Alright, here we go. Okay. Hello. Twice as nice. Alright. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Side Splitters. My name is Lyle.
And I'm Andy.
And our goal tonight is to not fudge up the intro and to leave you in stitches. What's going on, Andy?
Oh, apparently I'm doing better than you, man, because honestly this is like a weekly thing and you still have problems with it.
Well, I wouldn't have if you didn't jinx me.
Oh, sure. Now all of a sudden you believe in luck.
Yeah. Well played. I have a story to tell.
Oh, I was kind of hoping you had a story to tell because my story usually involves something with either the bathroom or some insane thing I saw on Pornhub. So I'm very glad that you have a story.
Right. Well, so I'm at work today, and we're just about getting up, finished the job here. Like it's about time to clock out. Hit the old time card, head home.
Oh, the feels.
Yeah, it's like around 4:10. We get done at about 4:30. So we clock out. So just kind of finishing up, wrapping up the day, and my coworker is standing by a bay door where the windows are, and he's kind of looking out the window, and I just kind of hear him mumbling like, "Damn gypsies!" I started laughing. I'm like, "What's going on out there?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know, some kids." I'm like, "Oh, whatever. They're probably just crossing through." He's like, "Yeah, but one of them's pushing the other one around in one of those big tires out back. You see, we let me preface this a little bit. We share a building with several other companies, places, whatever. To the left of us is Buna EMS, which is the town that we're located in. It's the EMS building for that town. To the other side is Buna CrossFit. So the CrossFit people, who I can't stand, I'm just going to throw it out there. I hate these people. They You know what? If I can just tell them why I'm mad real quick.
Tell why you're mad, son.
Oh, I'm going to tell them why I'm mad. Because here's the thing. You want to get healthy? That's cool. I'm all for that. Exercise, go nuts. You have an entire warehouse-sized area to do it in. And don't tell me that it's not enough space for your whole group, because I've seen that place. It is only busy when it's a nice day out or like January 3rd. That's it. Other than that, it's the same 5 state troopers that go there. And like the one wife of a state trooper who is so goddamn sunburned that she looks like rye bread at this point. It's not even like Dorito anymore. She looks like rye bread. Just
wow.
Overly browned. She was white at one point.
Prove it.
Well, yeah. I feel like if you rub her hard enough, she's just gonna peel away.
Oh, kind of like when you get pudding film on top of beef jerky.
What?
Clearly we don't have the same eating habits.
Pudding film?
Yeah.
On top of beef jerky.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I can't stand these people because like I'll go to leave, okay? Or even better, I'll pull in the morning. Now it's 7 o'clock in the morning when I clock out or clock in. So I'll go to pull in the morning and like I'm just barely awake. I'm just getting to work. I just finished my first cup of coffee. I park in the same spot every day. When there is people parked in that spot and I look over and the CrossFit area has a bunch of cars parked near the entrance, it drives me crazy because I know that that person is parked there because it's closer to the door than it would be to park on the other side of the parking lot for them. When the whole reason they're there is to exercise. And for some reason, they have to park close to the door. It drives me crazy, Andy. It's the whole can't return the shopping cart thing again. Anyway,
Right.
if that's not bad enough, they decide to run. Now, I'm pretty against running. But if you gotta do it, you gotta
I can imagine.
Yeah, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. I get it. Some people just like to run for some reason. I don't know why. Do it in an area that there are not typically cars. Don't do it in a parking lot. We have an entire back area for the entire building. Just one giant back area. It can honestly be chalk lined and be made into a mile-long track, probably. Or at least a quarter-mile track. I'll give them that. Quarter-mile track. Do that. Sure, you're going to get it to wash away every rainstorm, but at least gives you something else to do on your exercise days, Whatever. Just run around the circle a couple times. You'll know when to stop running and where to start running. Mark some areas. Something. Why do you have to run in the parking lot? I pull in at 7 o'clock in the morning, and there's a whole mob of people running by because it's a nice day out.
Right.
And I can't park. And God forbid they would sit there and go, that car's going to kill me if I don't stop. Nah, I'm going to keep running. He can't park now. One of these days, Andy, I'm going to run him down. And to make matters worse, I'm not done yet. To make matters worse, if I go to leave at 4:30, they start running. As soon as I put on, the gear is going into reverse, and I look behind me, and you know how when you first put it in reverse, you look behind you and you start easing back into it, because you immediately don't see anything there. So you're like, all right, let me just let go of the brake and just kind of ease back while I'm looking back. Why do they insist on as soon as they see the car start to move and the reverse light's on, the whole mob of them runs in front of my car, or behind my car in this case. So now I can't go anywhere without hitting one of them. And these aren't just adults neither. Like, they bring their kids and they torture them with this shit. So now the kids are running too. And they're too busy, the parents are too busy focusing on how fast they can do their run to even look at the kids, because the kids are way ahead of the group because they don't pace themselves because they're kids and they're full of energy. So they're like, oh, I'm going to sprint the entire way. So now they're way away from the group, and they're getting in the way of cars, and no one cares. And it's just like, they're almost asking me, please run over my kids. And I will, if you want me to, but you have to give me more of a signal here. Right now the signals are kind of mixed, and I don't like it. Anyway, they play terrible music at 7 o'clock in the morning. I do not want to wake up, go into work, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, hear Hey Now, You're an All-Star by Smash Mouth.
Wow. No, I would, at that point, they are asking for it to get run over.
Right? Okay. Anyway, that's.
Well, I mean, Buena EMS is the next building over. It's not like they have to go very far for medical treatment.
Oh, but they do, because they don't like them neither. They actually can't stand them just as much as we can.
Oh my God.
See, we get along with Buena EMS. Those are cool people. But the workout place, no, screw them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Simply wow.
But anyway.
The gypsies, huh?
Right, so the gypsies. So another complaint about the workout people, the CrossFit guys, they have these ginormous big truck tires, like I'm guessing 18-wheeler tires back there,
Okay.
in the area where they should be running. And, there's no, I don't understand why they have them there. I thought at first maybe they used, like, some people said, oh yeah, they go nuts and they flip the tires over and see how many times they can flip big ass tires, because they're super heavy or whatever, and they're all into that. Let's see how strong we could be in 5 seconds. Whatever. I'd never seen them once do it. Never even seen them look at them. Never even seen any of them back there to do anything with them. So it's annoying because when we get deliveries that come into our warehouse, the truck drivers have to avoid these tires. So it's kind of difficult for them to back into the bay doors sometimes. Especially for the truck drivers that aren't quite as experienced, or at least haven't been to this area before. So they're kind of like, I don't know what kind of room I have here. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, the gypsies. They were pushing each other. Well, the one was pushing the other while the other was inside the tire. And my coworker was looking at it, and he was like, oh, this is kind of funny. And I was like, oh, I gotta come check that out. So I immediately grabbed my phone, run over there to record it, and the kid's just getting out of the tire and like brushing himself off. And I'm like, damn it, I miss it. And they're high fiving or whatever. And then the other kid gets in, and the other one starts pushing him. And I'm like, yes, record. And I recorded the entire thing. It was funny, but it reminded me of a simpler time because I know I've done stupid things like that before. Hell, I've in lieu of watching the Jackass movies, I've me and my friend have gotten on our skateboards and went full speed at each other, holding baseball bats out, stretched out as if we were jousting each other.
That sounds amazing. That doesn't sound stupid at all.
It was fun. It was pretty stupid though. What sucks is we actually videotaped it because back then you had to actually use a camcorder to do so.
Yeah.
And the sucky thing is it was my aunt and uncle's camcorder, and they were on vacation. So I don't know why I thought I would get away with this, but I was like, oh, I know, I'll record it and then dub it over to a VHS tape by the time they get home. Well, that didn't happen because, I was drunk the rest of the week. I ended up having to throw away that tape.
No!
For the longest time, they could not, before they eventually just said, you know what, it's lost. They didn't know what happened to that tape. They were just like, what happened to the one tape with, this, and this on it? I don't know what was on there. I hope it wasn't anything important, but you never know. So yeah, that was one of the stupid things that I did. Did you do anything stupid like that?
See, it's funny. I had weird ways of keeping myself occupied when I was a kid, and I mean, there was the aforementioned impromptu surgery on small animals. I've done that. I've done. I used to break rocks for fun. Like it's weird, huh?
How'd you break them?
Oh, with a hammer.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you just banged them together or what you were going with. Okay.
No, I legit took a hammer outside, found rocks, and broke them open. Not only was it cool because when you hit it, it would make a spark, and that was pretty neat. But the idea that when the rock broke open, on the inside it was different colors, like purple and blue and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
and I remember thinking, seeing movies where it's a punishment that people were like, oh, you're in prison? Here, put on this ball and chain and keep pickaxing this rock. And I'm like, man, I hope when I grow up I get to go to prison because breaking rocks is fun.
What was the point of that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I guess cheap quarry work, maybe.
Yeah, I suppose that would be it.
I don't know.
But I feel like it was such a confined area,
Yeah, true. And I've done I don't say actual bicycle jousting or anything like that. We didn't do that.
Skateboard jousting, thank you.
Sorry. Skateboard jousting. It's got tires. It's a bike.
Right, that's how that works.
That's how that works.
The bikes were paintballs, but go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, side thing. Side tangent. I hope I still remember how to ride a bike. It's been a while.
Oh God.
Side tangent over.
No, now that you mention it, I haven't rode a bike in forever neither. I mean, I guess they say it's like riding a bike, you never forget. But I want to prove how true that is. Now, here's the thing. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually rode a bike.
Right, because I was actually thinking about that myself. I'm like, when was the last time I legitimately rode a bike, from point A to point B? And it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been for me too.
It has to have been about a decade.
Mm-hmm,
has to
at least. And I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I'm like, how long do I have to wait until I try to ride a bike again to merit long enough for it to be, something that could possibly have been forgotten? Do I try it tomorrow or do I give it another decade? You know what I mean?
I think at that point you're being restricted to physical limitations because you're not getting any younger, buddy.
Yeah, I realize that, but it didn't. I mean, look, I'm not saying I would like to ride my bike from here to the next state over. I'm just saying get on a bike and ride it to the end of the block to see if I'm still able to maintain balance and speed and all that, and even possibly turning. I want to see if I still know how to ride a bike, not if I am able to ride a bike.
Did you have a bike growing up?
Here's the thing. I'm glad for the side tangent. This is fun. I kind of did. I didn't learn how to ride a bike until I was about 12 or 13 years old.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I never did training wheels or anything like that. Peer pressure taught me how to ride a bike. And that is no joke. Here's how this story went.
Oh boy.
It was the best kept secret. Like, the only people that knew I didn't know how to ride a bike was one of my friends, who was also a neighbor of mine. I mean, obviously everyone that was your friend when you were a kid was a neighbor, right? So,
Yeah.
it was a neighbor slash friend of mine, and that was it. There was other neighbor slash friends that I had that just knew I didn't own a bike, so they didn't think to ask, hey, let's go bike riding sometime. Like, I would join them sometimes and just walk while they kind of rode their bikes in circles around me, and they would offer to let me ride the bike for a while, and they would walk, and I'd be like, no, you guys go ahead. I'm good walking. I don't mind it, really. You know. And they never really questioned it because they were like, oh, I was just being nice, but okay. So the one kid knew. And he kind of didn't tell anyone, but at the same time, he never said he wouldn't tell anyone. I just kind of assumed that, it's kind of embarrassing, and he knew, don't tell anyone. Well, then there's one kid that, lived kind of far away, but I was friends with in school. He came to the block one time, and he came there with his bike, and he brought his little brother, who also had a bike, and they both come riding up. And, I'm hanging out with my one friend who knows I don't know how to ride bikes. So those three have bikes. I do not. And one of them says to me, oh, here, you can ride mine for a little while. I said, no, I'm all set. I tried pulling my old scheme again. And he was like, no, really, go ahead. And that's when my one friend was like, oh, he doesn't know how to ride a bike.
Oh,
Yes, I do.
Sold you out.
Yeah, now here's the messed up thing. The guy that came over, he was not exactly a great friend of mine. He was like an okay friend. It was more of like, he was a bully, and I didn't want to deal with his shit, so I was just like, yeah, sure, we're friends. Because I wasn't quite the rough and tough kid that I eventually, well, I don't want to say I became rough and tough, but I didn't exactly stand my own ground at that point yet. I was in like 3rd grade. And this kid happened to be the one that was like held back 2 grades, so he was way older than the rest of us. So he was like easily the bully, So I definitely didn't want him to find out I couldn't ride a bike. So my one friend was just like, yeah, he can't ride a bike. That's why. Don't lie to him. It's not that you don't want to. It's just that you don't know how to. It's not a big deal. Just tell him you don't know how to ride a bike. I don't have a problem with it. And I'm just like, ride a bike whenever I want. You're crazy. I just don't own a bike. I might not be as fast as you guys because I don't have one to practice with all the time, but I could certainly ride a bike. What kind of kid doesn't know how to ride a bike? I'm just really trying to talk my way out of the situation.
Wow. All right.
The bully is just not trying to hear it at this point. He's like, I want you to show me. Show me you can ride a bike. Ride this bike to the end of the street and back. Show me you can ride it. I'm not going to laugh at you if you admit right now that you can't ride a bike. Whatever, that's fine. But if you are going to sit here and tell me you can ride it, then you're going to ride it. And if not, then I'm going to make fun of you. And I'm just like, he's going to make fun of me either way. I know he's going to. I'm just going to get on this bike and I'm going to try my damnedest. Sure enough, I get on the bike and it's a little wobbly at first. But I'll be damned if I don't just start booking it down the street. And I turn around. It's, again, a little wobbly, but I managed to do the whole U-turn. And I come all the way back, and I'm just kind of giving my buddy this look as I'm pedaling by. Like, yeah. And I get off, and he's just like, when the hell did you learn how to ride a bike? I'm like, dude, I always knew. No, you didn't. He's like, no, you didn't. Did you for real just learn on the spot because of peer pressure? And, obviously I didn't admit it then, but that's totally what happened. Like, it was weird. It was like
wow.
it was like Forrest Gump breaking from the leg braces and being able to outrun a truck all of a sudden. That's exactly what it was, dude. I shit you not. This is 100% true. I am not making any of this up. I can't make this up. Like, I never had training wheels or anything like that growing up because, to get back to the whole did I ever own a bike story, my brother owned a bike. And when he was done with it, it got passed down to my sister. My sister didn't like the bike, so it just kind of sat for a while. And eventually she got a 10-speed, which she liked a lot more. She didn't like the BMX-style bike that my brother had. And he also had a 10-speed, so now they both had 10 speeds. They were old enough for 10 speeds. and this BMX bike was just kind of sitting around. Well, eventually I got, big enough to try riding it, and I was like, I don't know how to ride a bike. Can someone help? And they tried, but they just didn't have the patience for it. So I never really learned, and again, it didn't have training wheels or anything like that, so it wasn't like it was a very steep learning curve for me. It was either, jump into the fire or get out because it's too hot.
Right.
So I just never learned. Plus, everything was all rusty on it because it sat for so long, and it was just such a hard bike to ride to begin with. It just wasn't working out. So I owned that bike, but nothing was ever done with it. After that whole peer pressure spectacle, my buddy, the one that sold me out, ended up very shortly afterwards getting a brand new bike. And when he got a brand new bike, he took his old bike and was like, dude, you can ride bikes now. You know how to ride them. You're going to have this bike, and I'm going to have my new one, and we're going to ride together now. And I'm like, this is the coolest mode of my life. Thank you so much. You are forever my best friend. Because he straight up gave me my technical first bike. So, yeah, I rode the hell out of that thing. Just rode it everywhere until the day it got stolen.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that happened. Got stolen by my sister's boyfriend, of all things.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, he's pretty sure he's in jail now. The guy was a jerk. Worst part about it is he legit told me, let me just borrow your bike for a little bit, and if you do, I'll bring you back to McDonald's before I gotta go. And fat me, okay, here, take it.
Get rid of a bike and get hamburgers?
You can keep it till tomorrow if you bring me back Burger King too. So he came back like the next day, didn't have my bike, didn't have McDonald's. I was pissed. But
Damn.
yeah, what was I gonna do, Anyway, so yeah, that's my bike story.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember getting a bike when I was like 6, and the only reason I can peg it that early is because I knew who I was riding a bike with. Because I had a friend live down the street that was only my friend until 6th grade, but I met him when I was in 1st grade, and that was like, I got a bike and I had training wheels on it, and I still turned over a bike on training wheels. Like, okay, I also found out that apparently you are not supposed to ride a bike either with or without training wheels with the kickstand out the entire time.
See, that's the thing that kills me is because I knew all these stupid things. Like, I would watch other kids try for the first time, and they would do that stupid stuff. They would try to ride it with a kickstand out and everything like that. I'm like, no, dummy, you gotta put the kickstand in. Shut up, you can't even ride one. Okay.
Well, and the thing that really fucked me up when I was a kid, so the bikes that I grew up with, they didn't have the handbrakes. You had to stop with the pedals. Like, as soon as you moved the pedals, like you were going to go backwards, that would stop the wheels.
Right.
So that's how I learned how to brake. So, when I finally got too big to fit on my first bike, I got another bike. But that one had the handbrakes, and when you hit backwards on the pedals, they would just keep going backwards. It would make the clickety-clack noises.
Right.
And that fucked me up the first time I tried to stop, because I really needed to stop because I was going to hit a big-ass boulder. And I go to turn the thing backwards, and all I hear is the clicking noises. And I'm like, wait, what? Fuck! And I hit a rock. And yeah, that was a fun lesson for me. Hit that. I turned over on training wheels on my old bike. Man, I'm all over the place with this story. Because I thought it was cool to, like, when you watch old movies and stuff like that, and you see like the guys on like the motorcycles that do the sharp turns,
right?
And it's they drift on motorcycles. I'm like, oh, I can do that on a bike. And I go to drift on a bike, and the only thing I do is throw all my weight to one side of it and tip the fucking thing over while I'm on it. I'm legitimately surprised I still have half of my knees
Okay.
of all the times that I landed on them.
So Not to mention all the other times you're on them. Um,
No, what all?
right, yes. You made me think of another thing. Once I learned how to ride a bike, I immediately went from I know how to ride a bike now. I can go places now, just started riding everywhere. Like I used to ride my bike almost every single day to the nearby Sears, which was about uh maybe about a half a mile away, mile to a half mile away. Um and the only reason I would go there is I would ride my bike all the way there, chain my bike up, go inside, and play the demo of video games they had in the electronics section. That demo was Super Metroid, good sir.
Wow.
I 100%ed Super Metroid on their Super Nintendo.
Wow.
By the time I got my own Super Nintendo, my own copy of Super Metroid, I knew exactly what to do with everything, and I still love the hell out of that game. I have been replaying that game since before I owned it. Anyway.
Never went anywhere on my bike. I didn't have anywhere that I wanted to go. Like everybody that like lived close to me lived close enough that I could just walk. And
See,
there was
I was the complete opposite. Like if I had like it could have been the shortest distance, and I was still hopping on my bike and going. Like the difference is, I guess, I didn't know, I never had this freedom for the first like 6 years of my life that I was supposed to have it. Like so, like I was like about 12 or 13. No, I wasn't that old. I was probably like around 9 or 10 when I learned how to ride a bike. Now that I think about it, yeah, well, I would say about 10. Yeah. However old you are when you're in third grade, that's how old I was.
8,
No.
9. Sorry,
Yeah,
9.
I was closer to 9. Yeah, 9 sounds right. Maybe even 10, I think. Whatever. Regardless. um, yeah, so it was just, maybe it was fourth grade. I don't know. But anyway, the point of the matter is,
Isn't it weird how you lose track of time when you look back into your memories?
God, I'm like, it was definitely third grade because that kid was a bully, and maybe he was in fourth grade and just held back and was supposed to go to fifth grade. Like, I knew he was supposed to be a fifth grader, but I don't remember if it was 1 or 2 grades that he was held back.
Yeah, because this is totally what old men do. You know that, right? Like we always look back on the whole thing as like, now I remember I was 6 because the friend I had at the time.
Not yet, Andy. Old people don't remember their 6-year-old memories. They
No,
remember
no, but
26-year-old memories.
like especially with you, like you're like, wait a minute, there was that guy who was also in the grade, but then I was only this old, and
Yeah, well, anyway.
what year did the Challenger blow up?
So I think part of it for me was just because I finally had that ability to go anywhere. So it was just like any chance I had, I was riding my bike. Um, but anyway, it was soon after, I realized I can go everywhere, that I went everywhere, and then I was just like, well, I've explored everything. Everything within the realm of possibility of, a kid my age to explore on their bike, even going beyond where his mom said he should be. Didn't want to go too far away. Like I wasn't a troublemaker. I mean, I pushed boundaries, but let's be honest, I didn't exactly tear down walls. Um, anyway, so I soon afterwards understood the idea of ramps
Mm.
and how great they were with bikes. Specifically, my one buddy had, a bike ramp that he built and his brother built or something like that. And I was just like, oh man, that looks so crazy. Are you sure it's safe to go up? And, they obviously both went up and was like jumping, getting all kind of height from it and everything. I'm like, oh, that looks so cool. I want to do that. So I'm like, all right, I really got to do this. Here we go. Full speed. And I probably was going like half the speed I could have been going. And I just barely made it off without falling forward. But I got off and, I didn't exactly lift up or anything, just flew over a little bit and was like, oh my God, that was the most exhilarating thing I've ever done in my life. Faster next time, and faster and faster and higher and higher. And I just kept getting more and more braver every time. And eventually he was just like, all right, I got to go now. Can you go home? And I was like, yeah, I can I take your ramp with me? No, huh? Okay. No, I get it. I mean, I'm only like 3 houses down. You'll know where it's at. Still no, huh? All right. Well, he built his own. I could build my own. So to my house I go. Now it's still daylight out, So I'm like, I'm gonna build my own bike ramp. I don't need his stupid bike ramp. So I'm looking for stuff in my backyard that I could possibly build a ramp out of, and what you know what? There's some like flat pieces of wood back there. Now I have no idea what they are. Um, but I just know that they're like stacked up as if they were trash and just waiting to be discarded. So I grabbed a big piece, a big sheet of wood, not realizing what it was made out of or anything like that, and grabbed a couple like 2x4s and stuff like that, and was like, I'll start off small. I won't have to craft anything too crazy. I'll put this up on the curb, and I'll put the 2x4s there to support it better, and it'll be good, right? So I put it up on the curb, and I put 2x4s up, whatever, to support it. Didn't realize how weak the sheet of wood was, and as soon as my bike hit it, it just broke in half, and I went right into the curb. And that was the
Ouch.
time that I first realized how painful it is for your butthole to grip on the back of the back seat of the bike seat and go flying. You know what I mean? You know that feeling? You know that feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
It's just yanking your butthole and you're going flying forward. Oh, that was some pain that I wasn't. I was off my bike for the rest of that day. I
Oh, I
walked that day.
bet.
I walked
I'm
it.
surprised you still looked at the damn thing.
I left the plank there, the wood and the plank. That all got left. Whatever. That's someone else's problem now. I gotta get home. Just cried my entire way home.
Leave it there as like a memorial. It's like this. This is when my innocence died.
Oh my god, it was bad. Whew. Of course, it wasn't the most. This is the last thing I'll say about bikes, and then I swear we'll go back to, being stupid as kids.
Right, right.
My first day of middle school, fifth grade. I was like, all right, I'm apparently close enough that I can walk to school because I lived legitimately right behind the school itself. Up, the street behind the school is where I lived. Um, so I just had to circle the block until I got to the front of the school. It was a pretty big block, I mean, but still definitely walking distance, even for a fifth grader. So instead, I was like, I'm going to ride my bike to school because I know how to ride a bike, and this is going to be awesome, you know. Uh, so I rode my bike to school, and one thing that didn't dawn on me was how I was going to carry my backpack because it was the cool thing to do to make the straps really really long so that it kind of sagged down a little bit instead of having them way too tight and like looking like you didn't want to look like a ninja turtle. I mean, what were you in second grade? No, this was fifth grade, and you had to make a first impression, so you let that thing droop low, right? So I had it on my back, and I'm driving, and I'm riding my bike, and I'm just like, oh man, this ain't gonna work. This is like starting to skid against the tires and everything. That's gonna mess me all kind of up. I can't do no, this is terrible, terrible idea. So I was like, all right, I'll just put it around the front handlebars, right? No big deal. And I was good. I made it all the way around the block with my backpack on my front handlebars. And as soon as I pull up in front of the school, when all the buses are unloaded and everything, I turn in, and as soon as I turn in, I hit this little bump, in this little divot in the driveway there, and that kind of made my backpack loosen up a bit and fall. But, I wasn't worried because the straps are around the handlebars. No big deal. Except it was a big deal because it went right into the front tire and caught the front tire and stopped immediately in front of the entire school. I flipped off my bike
Oh,
frontwards. And I mean, I completely wiped out. Like, there was no
oh.
saving it. The first day of this new school that I was going to in front of the entire school.
And you
Oh,
are not going to have backpack straps long enough to make you cool enough to wipe that away.
no, that was. I was immediately an idiot. And, like, the nerd of the school, like, immediately.
Oh man,
Right away, I had no friends.
that is rough.
Even people that knew me were just like, mm.
No, no, man, you don't know how to ride a bike. I'm not. I'm not gonna be your friend.
Not this again. Yeah, so that was that. But
Full circle.
yeah. So anyway, did you ever do anything stupid when you were a kid?
Kid,
I
high
mean,
school.
we're only about 30 minutes in.
Yeah, right.
So eventually we go back to our first topic.
What a hell of a tangent.
I'm
Um,
gonna tell them why you're mad, son, and everything in there.
jeez. Man, we had subreddits of conversations.
Yeah, seriously.
Um, like stupid, like um, I had a lot of weird activities, but I know one of the things that was probably stupid enough was I remember in high school used to get together with the group and do some backyard wrestling, and I know what you're gonna say.
No, you don't.
You don't
I mean, you know what I want to say.
know what you want to say.
You don't know what I'm gonna say.
No, that is absolutely true.
What do I want to say, Andy? Since I won't
Um,
say it, but I won't, but you will.
you want to curse me and my posse out for
Well,
our choice in activities
why would I
because they
call it
probably were insane and we
Oh,
were acting like clowns.
oh.
But
Ooh.
um, not the case.
So you were saying that you were a posse of insane clowns.
You could say that. Not that that was the intention behind it.
Right.
It wasn't. It
The
just ended
intention
up
was
being that
just
way.
we're going to make backyard wrestling and it's going to be cool because we're going to do it and it's going to be real. It's not going to be anything like that fake wrestling. It's going to be like ECW real. Am I right? Oh yeah, I
Look,
remember those days. I remember when everyone thought ECW was real.
look, man. It was one of those things where mostly we were just adolescents with a lot of pent up shit that we thought the best way to take it out was on people that we already knew, and it'd be fine because if we did go too far and break somebody's nose, they'd forgive us because they're our friends, right?
Right.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Fun times. So, um, never mind. Slamming people onto the ground, which may or may not contain rocks or tree roots sticking out of the ground, which hurt like a bitch on your lower back.
Oh, tree roots were not fun.
No, no, not at all. Or deciding to back somebody up into like the corner of a picnic table and you get kidney shotted by a plank of wood. Um, that's not fun. Or freaking dumping somebody on or off of the table. uh, or banging each other's heads off of fucking stop signs and uh, doing freaking Greco-Roman style wrestling and getting rug burns on a gravel driveway. Not fun either.
You know, I just wanna put something out there real quick. My brother used to have a friend. Uh, I'm not going to say his name, but um, he used to have a friend, and he, for funsies, would bang his head into the stop signs on his own.
Funsies.
Like he enjoyed hurting himself.
Call that a masochist.
He was a weird dude. Like he would do it and then laugh about it, and then like it was entertaining to everyone else, so we didn't stop him. But like he would throw himself downstairs, which was hysterical. I don't know if you've
I see
ever
what you did
seen.
there.
I don't know if you've ever. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen someone throw themselves downstairs, but oh my god, it's funny. Like he literally yanked himself by the shirt and just whoop.
I think the image I got was way funnier.
Would take frying pans out of my mom's cabinet and just start beating himself in the face with them. That was funny.
Oh my god.
It was like real life Tom and Jerry for me. Like I was a kid, so I didn't, really phase me and go, "Oh my god, that's terrible." To me, it was just like, "Oh my god, it's just like the cat and mouse." Like, whatever. Walking down the street, just jumps up and bangs his head into a stop sign. It was funny. I ended up drinking with him as an adult. That was cool too. We got him really drunk one time and made him do it at a party. He was like, "I haven't done this in years." And go on.
Well,
Yeah. Anyway, continue with your Roman Reco style. Yeah,
right.
Roman
So
Reco style.
I remember one of the times that I did a match with somebody that stood out the most was I was paired up against this dude that was way outside my weight class. Like at the time I might have been 130 pounds, give or take. Five. Yeah, I was about 5'8" to 5'10", 130 pounds, a stick essentially. But I was a wily stick, and I was lean.
Did you have
Because
the booty?
my, huh?
Did you have the booty?
I still had a booty. I've always had a booty.
Okay, just checking. Go on.
Yeah. No, as soon as puberty hit, I got butt breasts.
Puberty did that to you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Weird.
it is.
Yeah. Um. So this other guy was at least 2 inches taller than me and definitely more than 100 pounds on me, and he had muscle, like actual muscle. None of that. My body doesn't know how to make fat, so I guess I'm left with muscle that I had. Yeah, I was cut. He was built.
Right, right.
And we were kind of like, he was toying around with me for the most part. Like he was like, not taking it seriously. Everybody else kind of doubted that this was going to be anything but a squash match. And we were wrestling around for a little bit. As wily as I am, slipping and sliding out of people's grips and shit. Once you got a decent hold on me, like I wasn't going to go anywhere. I knew that. And he got me in an arm bar. But I wouldn't quit. And you know what they say about skinny guys in a fight? They will fight until they are hamburger. Which is true. That's what they say. At least that's what I know. One person has said that. So
right.
It is officially they said it.
Gotcha.
And it was true. Like I wouldn't quit, even on matches that, like any other match that I would play. It didn't matter who I was against. I would not quit. And yeah, he had me in an arm bar, and it was very, very painful. And he kept twisting my arm back and twisting my arm back, and he wanted me to quit, and I'm like, no, I ain't doing it. He's like, I'm gonna make you quit. He's like, you're not gonna make me quit. And he lurched my arm back and popped my freaking shoulder out, dislocated my shoulder. I screamed bloody murder. Easily the worst pain of my life. Like, if childbirth is dislocating a shoulder in your hoo-hoo dilly, then yeah, I could see why women complain about it so much.
What is a hoo-hoo dilly?
A colorful euphemism for a snatch? I don't know.
Does the hoo-hoo dilly have anything to do with the hamburger you were talking about a second ago?
No. I mean, literally, skinny guys will fight until they are nothing but ground meat. Hamburger.
Right. So, if there's two of you, is it a tag team versus a hamburger helper?
Moving on.
Okay.
So, yeah, he thought it was over. Like as soon as I started screaming, and he knew that he popped my shoulder out. Right. He got up like he won. I didn't quit. What? I still didn't quit. I screamed, but I didn't quit.
All right.
So, like when after he got up and everything like that, and people were like, "Oh, dude,
you forgot your bun."
Yeah, I took the opportunity, man. When his back was turned, like I climbed on his back, like wrapped my one good arm around his throat and started choking him out. Like we even agreed that like that wasn't we weren't supposed to do chokeouts, but I didn't fucking care. He just dislocated my shoulder and it hurt like a bitch. Like he made me have a friggin' shoulder child, and I wasn't gonna have any of it. So I choked his ass out.
Just sitting there. Do you want fries with that?
Stroganoff or 3-cheese mac?
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't get past the hamburger euphemism.
So, he ended up getting choked out on that, and I felt satisfied because I won. Fuck him. And I remember going to the porch, and between my brother and one other friend, we finally set my freaking arm back in its socket, and it hurt going back in, but not nearly as much as it did coming out. Holy shit!
Oh, man, that's funny.
Yeah, I didn't do too much after that because I found out very quickly that in high school I was apparently a very late bloomer. Because I didn't get any kind of weight to me or Um, I stayed a boy pretty much my entire career in high school.
Life.
Like
Just
I,
say life. You're still a boy.
man, I'm at least
You
I'm
have
at least a masculine woman at this point.
okay. I was going to say a pregnant woman though, because you have an ass and you have a little bit of a belly, which is hysterical. But the rest of you is not proportionate to those two things.
No, not at all. It's weird that I have like childbearing hips, but no ham wallet. So
No, Dilly.
don't know who Dilly.
So, I mean, I never.
That's what I remember being stupid as a kid.
Yeah, I never got any dislocated hoo-hoo dillies, but I did I did also have a. That's why I wasn't knocking you too much on the whole wrestling thing because I was involved in. I just call it because it sounds way cooler. An underground fight club. I mean,
I love how you still have to say it like you're getting scolded for something.
well, because it's. I mean, come on, you know how ridiculous that sounds.
I do, and
Kind of like
it's
backyard
fine.
wrestling.
I mean, people are like I said, you're kids, you're adolescents, you want to beat something up.
Yeah. What here's I mean it could have been worse. So I called it that. There were other people that would call it like, and I don't really know what they were training for, but they were saying that it was their training time or something like that. The one dude just straight up the one dude that ran it, a friend of ours, he just straight up called it a fighting tournament. And I was like, yeah, I can allow that. It's a fighting tournament. I'm good with that. Because it was a tournament style thing setup. Like it was double elimination. What would happen is if you lost twice, you were out.
Okay.
And matches were picked at random, um, and that was it. And then eventually it got down to okay, is there any people that have no losses still? Okay, those people have to face each other. Is there any people that only have there are people that have one loss? Those people should face each other. That whole thing. So eventually it would come down to, we've tried to make it so it would come down to people that, you know, at least the last two people would only have one loss, would already have one loss rather. Otherwise, it would be one person that had zero losses going against one person that had one loss, so that one person would have to beat that guy twice. And I mean, yeah, how do you do that?
Yeah, right? Like, what?
So, yeah, it was ridiculous, but it was fun. Like you said, we were adolescents. We just wanted to beat. I was there just to beat things. I don't know what they were there for, training or getting in shape or something like that. I just wanted to punch things.
Yeah, I mean, World War III was coming, man. Like, you had to be ready.
One of them ended up becoming. I don't know how high in the ranks or anything like that. Maybe if someone listening to this knows a little bit more about it, they can school me to it. But I think one of them became an MMA fighter. And he was one of the guys that I could not beat. So kind of made me feel a little bit better about the fact that I couldn't beat him. It's like, oh well, at least he did something with his fighting. But the rules were pretty simple. It was just no air restriction, no shots to the head or face or above the shoulders or anything like that. No nut shots, obviously. Other than that, it was pretty much fair game. It's pretty cool. And you won when if there was a time limit. So at the end of the time limit, there was always two judges, and
Okay.
and those two judges would always have to, decide who won. Maybe there was three judges. I'm not doing this again. There was judges that would decide who would win if it would come to time, or at any point the judges could say this match is over, this person clearly wins, or someone could be like I quit and that's it. What man? Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry because I was thinking, like, are you sure you don't want to do the old man thing again? It's like, no, there had to be three judges because I remember Samantha was there and she only came around on Tuesdays when Scott was around.
You know what's funny? There actually was a Samantha there. I vaguely remember a Samantha. I could be wrong. Again, if someone listening remembers these wonderful cringeworthy times of ours, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I think one of the guys was dating a Samantha. I think the dude that ended up becoming the MMA fighter was dating a chick named Samantha, and what's funny about that is she used to participate in the damn tournament.
Wow.
Like, she was scary. I've never had to fight her, but she totally went against dudes, didn't care. Was just like that. I'm not here to be, segregated against. Like, let's do this. And, my God, what's she like in the sack?
There was only ever one chick that came around for ours, and honestly, it just became a game of like how much could you grope and call it a survival tactic.
Neat. So anyway, all right, we've been going on about this whole old person thing long enough. I have a question,
Shoot.
and I don't want to spend too much time on this because like I got some clickbait news I want to get into.
Okay.
Um, but let's pretend it's 30 years from now, right? We
Wait,
are
hold on, let me do my math here. Yeah, that checks out. Okay, go ahead.
we are going to be into our 60s, in our early 60s. For you, it'll
Yeah.
be 61, correct?
Yep.
And for me, it'll be 60 even. What would we look back on and go, you know, back in my day, this, and this happened?
Okay. So here's the thing. Um, three things off the top of my head, without giving too much thought.
Mm.
One, we used cash in my day.
Right?
I think more and more things are going to go to the digital point, and I really think that we're going to get to the point where we're going to do like fingerprint scans.
I was going to say, are there even going to be plastics for that matter? Is there going to be,
No,
like, I could see it all just being like cell phone or whatever digital advancement has happened since. Like you
yeah,
said,
like
fingerprint or who knows?
pictures, I don't know, something. Um, so there's that. Any disc-based media, I think, will be dead in 30 years.
Yeah, that was something I was going to bring up because it was like right now it's kind of like, well, back in my day we used to have a VCR and we would watch VHS tapes, So 30 years from now, they're obviously going to be like ancient relics that are barely spoken of, and like you said, disc-based media is just going to be, what is that?
Yeah, it's going to be like all digital. Like I see like, external storage devices being like a thing, like flash drives or hard drives or anything like that. Like, or
Yeah,
cloud-based storage.
that's what I would say. It would be cloud-based. Like I feel like everything is going to be like I don't think there's going to be such a thing as like an MP3 player or anything. So I don't think there's going to be a thing where you would solely use it for the purpose of listening to music. I feel like it would be a phone or something else that will be needed at the time for everyone, similar to how a cell phone is, quote unquote, needed right now. Something that someone will always have on them, and that's how they would listen to music.
Mhm. And last but not least, I really think that in 30 years from now, I can say that back in my day, we used to have people deliver stuff to us.
That's deep.
Honestly, I think we're like drone delivery systems or automated delivery systems are going to be so common in 30 years that you're not going to have to interact with a person to get anything that you want.
That's going to be so cool. Oh god, the future needs to happen already. You know why, Andy? I'm gonna tell you another reason I'm mad today.
Oh, shit, son, why are you so mad?
I got duped not duped. It was kinda duped. You know why? It was duped. I went to go make a purchase
I
on
remember it
Amazon.
was duped because the sun was hanging over the one tree and that's been cut down for 20 years.
I went to go, I went to go make a purchase on Amazon the other day. I found a wonderful deal on K-Cup coffees. The little Keurig cups, pods.
I am so glad you added coffee at the end of that.
Yes, I don't have that size titties yet. So K-Cup titties. No, no. Um,
A-cup bras, like, why?
yeah, no, we're not doing this. So I went to go make a purchase. I found a box of K-Cup coffee for $34.99, and it
Mhm.
was 100 of them. I'm like, now that's a deal. That's a really, really good deal. Usually I pay about $6, $7 for 12.
I've always done coffee grounds. I've never done K-cups. I have no idea how
Sure.
expensive it is.
K-Cups can be pretty pricey just because of the convenience alone, which usually I just deal with because they're damn convenient. Um,
Okay.
anyway, so 100 of them for $34.99, great deal. I'm like, yeah, I'm buying that. And then Amazon tells me, you can get free shipping if you spend a little bit more. All right, Amazon, what's a little bit more? Well, because I'm thinking to myself, If it's cheap enough, I'll just buy like a $2 bag of chips or something like that and be like, there, now I just saved myself so I don't have to pay for shipping, and it probably would have been more than $2, so I actually just saved money and got something else. It was a penny more. $35 was the amount that I had to spend in order to get free shipping, and because it was $34.99, I couldn't get it. I was like, oh, you son of a bitch. All right, fine. I will get, like I said, a small bag of chips. Now, I've been wanting to try this flavor of chips. They're called all dressed chips, which is a Canadian. It's a Canadian flavor. Well, not Canadian flavor, but it's a common Canadian chip.
Right.
From what I understand, it's several different flavors combined into one, like salt and vinegar, barbecue, the whole nine, all in one chip.
Oh, voodoo chips.
Yes, similar to voodoo chips. Yes, but they're not kettle cooked like
Okay.
Ruffles makes them. And I'm sure there's different flavors than what we're used to here. Anyway, so I was like, I'll get a bag of them. I'm sure they have them on Amazon. Sure enough, they did. So I click on them, and it was like $4. I'm like, whatever, I'll pay for it. So I click on it, and add it to my cart or whatever, and it's saying I still have to pay for shipping. I'm like, well, this is bullshit. Now I have to pay extra money for shipping because I have to pay for shipping on both items. I'm like, why? Come to find out, I didn't know why at the time. Come to find out, it's because the chips were being sold from, a private distributor. I don't know how it works on Amazon, but it was something that wasn't in coherence with with Amazon setup, so it didn't count towards that money. I didn't realize that at first. So I was just like, well, how can I get free shipping then? And they were just like, well, you can always try Amazon Prime for free for 30 days. Fine. If it'll get me free shipping on my coffee and my all-dressed chips, absolutely. Let's do Amazon Prime free for 30 days. So I click on it. All right, cool. Well, you still have to pay $6 for the chips for shipping. Why? Because it's not Prime available. All right, now I'm pissed. I don't want these chips anymore. I want to pay $34.99, and I'll pay your stupid ass delivery charges for the coffee. Whatever. What's it, like $3? No, it's free because you got Amazon Prime. Well, at least there's something positive out of this whole thing. Fine, ship it to me. Well, you should get it. I bought these on Wednesday. You should get it Friday because that's our free 2-day shipping policy.
Yep.
They even told me, hey, you ordered it early enough, you'll get them Friday. Awesome. So I'm waiting, and Friday comes around, and I get home from work early, and I'm excited because, in case anyone didn't know, a new league in a game I play called Path of Exile just started on Friday. So I was super excited because I got to go home. Whatever, dude. I was like going ham for Path of Exile that day. I still am. I haven't slept much, which is probably why I'm so damn cranky. Anyways, I was excited because I got to play new Path of Exile League. I was looking forward to having this 100 count K-cup coffee. I can have as much coffee as I wanted because I needed it because I wanted to stay up. I get home, the mail's not there yet because I get done early on Fridays. The patch isn't ready to be downloaded yet, so I'm like, whatever, I'll take a nap, I'll wake up to new coffee, make a new cup of coffee, and start playing. Set an alarm and everything. So I did just that, woke up, went outside to get the mail, got the mail, there was a package, it was not for me.
Oh.
What the hell is this? It was my brother-in-law's package. I'm like, alright, whatever. Where's mine? Check my Amazon account. Yeah, it should be there today. Well, it's not.
Yeah, well, it's not. Amazon.
So I waited, and I waited till the next day, and Saturday rolled around. Never came Saturday, neither. Now I'm upset. I checked my thing again, my tracker. It says, you should get it by Tuesday. Well, that's not 2 days. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get it. I'm going to wait for Tuesday, and I'm going to see if I get it. And once I get it, I am going to complain like crazy to Amazon Prime. Monday rolls around. I got my package. Congratulations, you guys got it to me a day earlier than you said, but, 3 days later than you originally said. I'm kind of pissed. So that's why I'm mad. I'm not, like, at first I was like, if I get 100 cups from these guys for $35, every couple months, that's probably going to save me some money. That's definitely going to save me some money down the road to get Amazon Prime. So I should probably just stick with this. But if they're going to be like that, I need to call them up and tell them why I'm mad. That's basically what I'm saying here.
I've only ever had a problem with Amazon once, and it was during the holiday season, which is understandable.
Yeah, that's understandable. But anyway, so God, what the hell were we talking about? Oh, things that will be back in the day.
I was about to say, I said my piece on it. I think it's all you.
I mean, I after that rage, I really can't. uh, Here's what I will say.
Okay.
There are some back in the day things now that I think about and just kind of laugh about. Like, I know they're still used in some practices for business and stuff like that, but the craze around pagers.
Oh.
That made me laugh
Yeah.
back in the day because it was just like, so my brother-in-law is younger than me, way younger than me. He's like, he'll be turning 21 this year. And he talks to me every once in a while about what it was like back in the early 90s and all that. And I was like, oh, well, everyone had a pager. Why? Why they have a pager? Well, they didn't have cell phones. Oh. So how would they work? And I was like, well, someone would page you and they would go to a payphone and call your pager number and your pager would beep saying, hey, this person from this number just called you. And, you can kind of, leave a number. You could punch the number into the payphone to say, show them this number, not the payphone number. And usually you would punch in your house number, then run home and hope that you can get, or call them from your house, whatever.
Yeah.
Call them from your house is probably, I don't know where the payphone thing came into play there. But anyway, so you would call them from a payphone, like the person with the pager would be like, oh, well, let me just go call them real quick. And, like, hey, did somebody from this number page me? Oh yeah, it was me. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just wait till you get home? Well, because they didn't have to because God, I don't remember what the fuck I was saying now. Why would they page them? Why would they not just wait till you got home? Right,
Yeah.
call them at home. Well, because they would message them, and with the number that they would leave, they would add 911 at the end, which would mean this is an emergency. You better call me back right away. Oh. What was the emergency most of the time? Usually just a concerned girlfriend worried that her man was cheating on him, or messaging your weed man and being like, "Hey, I need a new supply."
Yeah. I'm out, man. I need a refill. 911.
Yeah. No.
911 420.
All right. I don't know how much more of this I can do with this back in the day thing. I got nothing else. I'm ready to go to clickbait news.
Yeah, we can go to clickbait news.
Fantastic.
That is, you have my blessing.
I have a couple here. Now here's the thing.
Mm.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna. It's not all Florida.
Yay!
I'm just gonna pull the Band-Aid right off. It's not all Florida. There is one Florida story. I am going to. I'm gonna open with it. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna fucking open with it.
I was gonna guess if it involved idiocy, bodily fluids, or animal to human relationships.
Well, technically the first two, I guess. I guess the third one, if you want to count it as an animal.
Weird.
Okay, what? Why did the woman offer an undercover cop oral sex?
To get to the other side of the law.
Woman arrested for prostitution after offering undercover cop oral sex for Taco Bell.
Honestly, I would give oral sex for Taco Bell. I don't see the issue here. Like, this is standard. This isn't news. Next.
A Florida woman was arrested last Thursday after she offered an undercover police officer oral sex in exchange for Taco Bell. Buffy, okay, her name is Buffy. Buffy Suzanne.
Her legitimate name is Buffy.
Legitimate name is Buffy. 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 Oh, Buffy Suzanne Bryan. That's her full name.
What?
Buffy Suzanne Bryan, 47.
Okay, that's an alias. That sounds made up on the spot.
47, approached an undercover police officer who, posing as a customer, she offered the sex act in exchange for 2 soft tacos, an order which would have cost her $2.14.
Oh my God, it's not even for good Taco Bell.
It's not. He could have at least got him Supreme. My God.
Yeah, like, I mean, order a burrito. Have some pride in yourself.
Just immediately makes you think, suck your dick for these cheeseburgers, man. Oh, man. If she wanted tacos that bad, she was barking up the wrong gender.
I'll make, I'll make that dick supreme if you give me one in return.
Brian was arrested, charged with offering, committing, or engaging in prostitution or
Oh, okay. Because when you said, Brian was charged, I'm like, the cop? Like, no, okay, no,
no,
her
her
last
last
name
name.
was Brian.
Right. Here's the best part. It was the 9th time she had been arrested for prostitution.
Um,
It says,
that,
it says, it says
that bitch is dense.
four other women between 31 and 48 were arrested in the citywide prostitution sting, all of whom had been charged with prostitution at least one other time. 9th time. Like, at
Yeah,
what point do you not think, maybe I should get a job?
yeah. Also, I don't think it ever covered in the article, but I'm pretty sure those other women were asking for other fast food choices.
Again, if you're going to get Taco Bell out of it, go for broke, man. Like, you gotta get the grilled stuffed burrito. You gotta get the caramel apple empanadas. Come on, man. No meal is complete without the caramel apple empanadas. I mean, come on.
I've never had it. I
My man.
don't want to.
My man.
I don't want to.
Why?
I don't like cooked fruit.
Oh, get over yourself. Go to Taco Bell when we're done here and get yourself caramel apple empanada.
I can't.
Okay, alright, hold on. We can fix this. What if you put it in the refrigerator and had it later?
Will it keep?
What do you mean?
Will it keep? There's certain things that you can't do leftovers. As much as I love Taco Bell, certain things from there you
Okay,
cannot do as
that's
leftovers.
okay. I totally see what you're saying now. I wasn't sure because I totally know what it means to say will it keep, but I just wasn't sure what you meant by that because it's not really something that is going to perish in a refrigerator. But I see what you're saying because you certainly cannot have a taco in a refrigerator, a crunchy one at least. That shell is no longer crunchy. It is now one with the meat.
Yeah, and even actually the same thing with the soft shell because you're like, well, what do you do? Because if you microwave it, the lettuce goes into business for itself, and if you leave it cold, then the meat congeals and it's more like a
Yeah,
jelly.
yeah, it's weird.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know, what to do. I'm at a crossroads.
This you can totally refrigerate. It's a dessert. I mean, it's hands down a dessert from start to finish. They are delicious. I'm telling you, you gotta try one.
I mean, whatever their little cinnamon balls are, like those things are delicious.
I'm telling you, dude, these don't taste much like apples. You get so much caramel in them. Like, you gotta try one. Anyway, next clickbait news story.
Yeah, let's get off that Taco Bell trick.
Taco Bell trick. Uh, so this one takes place in Japan.
So, a prostitute offered herself for McDonald's.
No.
Okay.
How did the Fukuoka man go about getting a day off of work for the
Seppuku.
second time in 3 days?
Oh, not seppuku.
Yeah,
Um,
at that point.
huh. Yeah, because you can only really commit suicide once.
You could
Um,
several times.
oh, he got out of work for calling out healthy?
Fukuoka man arrested after stabbing himself to get day off of work for a second time in 3 days.
I was right.
You were actually right. I didn't stop you, man. You're the one that changed it.
I mean, he didn't go all the way, to the whole death by honor thing, but still,
He,
wow.
he didn't fill in all the numbers. He got most of them, but some of those last ones he just couldn't get the center numbers done.
Man, so this might be stereotyping. It's the Chinese that do the whole honor thing, right?
No, that's Japanese.
Is it Japanese?
I certainly know Japanese are super into honor. I don't know if Chinese are as well, but
Because like I don't know how dishonorable is it to fail at a suicide attempt? Like
well, see, that's the thing. Let's read the article first. Let's learn together, buddy.
let's learn together.
It says, about 3 days after a very similar incident at Aichi Prefecture, which was reported on by Japan Kyo, a man in Fukuoka, Japan, was arrested after he allegedly tried to get a day off of work by stabbing himself and telling police that he had been attacked. According to police, at about 6:50 a.m. on February 25th, police in the city received an emergency call from someone at the baked goods manufacturing company. The caller reportedly told police a coworker was stabbed by an unknown man near our company. When police arrived on the scene, they found a 26-year-old male employee at the baked goods company with a deep knife wound on his right elbow. He was taken to the hospital to receive treatment for the wound. As explanation for what happened, as explanation for what had happened, the man reportedly told police, immediately after I got out of the car in the parking lot, someone tried to steal my backpack, and when I tried to resist, I got stabbed with an object. I got stabbed by an object with a blade. Well, you got stabbed.
Yeah, right.
Although,
Like why dress it up like that? Like
yeah,
man, I got shanked.
I got cut. I'm hit. Although police initially thought the incident could be a case of robbery that resulted in bodily injury, the direction of their investigation began to change after they noticed some unusual things about the man, such as the fact that he was in possession of a knife. Oh, God.
Wow.
On further questioning, the man admitted that he had been the one to stab himself. He was quoted by police as saying, "I don't want to go to work, so I stabbed myself." Police arrested the man for filing a false police report, which is a violation of the Minor Offences Act. No details have been released about exactly why the suspect did not want to go to work. However, it seems highly likely that this man's actions were due to stress caused by overwork, a problem which is unfortunately very common in Japan. And they just give you ways to read other stuff. But yeah, that's something.
Yeah, right. Like I mean, he must have a really sucky job if he wants to get out of work like that. Um, yeah, man, honor.
Yeah, I mean, Japan or the Japanese are crazy, dude.
Yeah, that part is definitely a given. Like whenever I think anything is reaching like critical mass of weirdness, I always have to see if its origins is anywhere Japanese, and then when it's not, I'm like, well, what the fuck? And then we have Groundhog Day, and then I'm like, oh, see, Japs, you're not the only ones.
Right. So,
But we get weird too.
absolutely.
Equal opportunity.
Right. So my last story comes out of Japan.
Oh man. Okay, so this is like a dream matchup for me. Like if we're gonna see who's gonna out weird each other, Florida or Japan. Oh, I'm on the edge of my seat. What do we got?
Can you tell me what um what crushed the man to death?
Out of Japan,
Yes.
a prostitute.
The Crushinator. No, it was his 6-ton porn collection. That's a lot of porn.
Holy shit! Is that a lot of porn? 6 tons?
Identified only as Joji, the 50-year-old Japanese man was buried alive under his beloved X-rated content. Whether he suffocated or suffered a heart attack remains to be established by the coroner. However, it was noted that his eyes had popped out of his head. According To the already horrific death, authorities did not find the man until 6 months after he perished in his flat in Japan.
Wow.
Trying to maintain discretion, his family hired a cleaning team to remove the magazines. However, their efforts were flouted. When images of the disheveled apartment were leaked, the cleaner added that every surface in the apartment was covered in magazines and clippings from his favorite articles. So this wasn't even like videos. It was just, let me, here, I'm sorry. I need to share this with you. I mean, you don't really see anything specifically, but I mean,
Wow.
you could see videos, like VHS videos. You can see, like, most of them are magazines, it looks like.
And one box of tissues.
There is a box of tissues. And that looks like sunscreen.
Yeah, that looks like a lotion of some variety. So, yeah.
He was going to town on this thing. That's totally different. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you would think you would at least see a blow-up doll in there or something. That's a lot of porn.
That is a lot of porn. Like, I actually wonder if that hovers around, like, one specific subject matter or not.
No, at that point, it just becomes fun for, everything. It's not even about what gets you off anymore. It's just about, how many. He's playing Pokemon with porn.
You gotta catch them all. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, like it's not about which ones are the strongest. He just wants to fill his Pokedex. He wants all of them.
Yeah, like, he'll be like, oh, I finally found one with albino! And then that goes into the collection.
Yeah.
Because I want you to think about it, because I'm fairly versed in those kind of things.
What, Pokemon?
No, well, yeah, okay, we'll go with that. Have you ever seen illicit material that included an albino?
Well, not yet.
For a while there, I was convinced that it didn't exist until I found one.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, shall we go to the African one, or?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, they exist. It's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, like it seems kind of unsettling. Yeah.
Albino Ice.
Yeah, her name, Ice.
Alright, well, that's enough of that. It's not like it's Reddit roulette or anything, so let's get out of here.
No, that's true. That needs to go away. But, just the idea that that's just one of those, like, ooh, that never shows up. Like, that's not even, when you go to, like, the list of things, and be like, okay, yeah, balloons, BDSM, like, no albinos.
I'm sorry, balloons?
Yeah, no, balloons are a thing.
I think we talked about this before.
We did. We totally did.
They may have been on the Origin episode, though.
I have no idea. It's been so long since I've heard it.
Which brings me to my next point. Sad news, everyone. We are not going to disappoint you in the same way that we did with Chuck E. Cheese's. We are not going to be doing the Origin episode release or the radio play, mostly because Andy doesn't want to do a rap, but also.
Oh yeah, put this on me, you bastard.
I don't feel like it's the appropriate. We're just not ready for it yet. We don't have the wherewithal to. I can't bring myself to ask people for money for this. That's what it comes down to. When we get more listeners, maybe I'll be like, maybe someone will want to hear us bad enough that they'll be willing to pay $1. But at this point, I think it'll be more of a pity thing than it would be like, this is really good. You deserve $1. No, it's just going to be, all right, we'll give you $1, buddy. Here you go. Go do what.
Yeah, here you go.
Stuff. Like, I don't want that. I want to actually earn it. I want people to actually like us so much to be like, you deserve $1. When we get there,
don't sell yourselves. I'll buy you a taco.
Walter and they don't just want one; they want two. 2 for clarity.
True.
Oh man. All right,
Inside
Andy.
jokes.
That's well, not really. I mean, it was last week's episode.
Yeah, I know, but using it outside of the pod was definitely inside joke.
Yeah, that was fun. Um, we gotta name this bad boy.
I have a few thoughts.
Okay.
Okay. I kind of like dislocated hoo hoo dilly.
Oh my god, I actually have that written.
Really?
I have dislocated or caramel apple hoo hoo dillies.
Nice to see that we're still on the same page.
Yeah. Well, I think it has to be dislocated hoo hoo dillies.
I know if we already agree on that,
Dude,
like,
yeah, that's it. All right. Well,
would you even know how to spell that?
I have HOOHOODILLIES.
Okay, that'll work. The only thing that I would change is put a hyphen in between the hoo hoo.
You got it. One hyphen in between the hoo hoo.
Because honestly, that's where you have to put your hyphen.
I mean, that's where I would put it. All right, that'll do it for episode 31 of the Side Splitters, named Dislocated Hoo Hoo Dillies. My name is Lyle.
And I'm incorrigibly Andy.
See you next week, folks.
Unless we forget how.
Right. Or we dislocate our Hoo Hoo Dillies.